Hey guys, for this video, the match I want to discuss is a 2v1 matchup starting Ryu Ishigori and Uro versus Dabura. As we all know, Ryu and Uro are two ancient sorcerers. They're very prominent and they're very powerful. They were reincarnated into the Colon games to be participants. They both fought Ryu Okotsu in a three-way free-for-all. Though they both lost, they did put up a pretty good fight, showcasing their abilities and their overall physical prowess. But who is Dabura? As we all know, Dabura is a newer character. He's extraterrestrial in nature. Obviously, he's from another planet. Some might say that he's on the same level like Gojo and Sukuna, though he doesn't really seem like it due to his demeanor. He is very powerful, no doubt. Undoubtedly, he's probably the strongest character that we know so far. Maybe besides, Yuji Jidori, but we haven't really seen him yet in the new modular chapters. So it's kind of hard to discern who is more powerful. But who would win? Though they do have the numbers advantage, obviously, as there are two of them. I think, based on what we know of Dabura, and his overall narrative implications, I think they lack the firepower and the overwhelming force to kind of, overwhelm somebody like Dabura. I mean, as we all know, he is basically like the new antagonist of the series so far. Some might say it's Mahito, but for right now, with the information that we currently have, it's Dabura. He seems to be at least a special grade character. He seems to have the overall firepower and the overall just capabilities of a special grade sorcerer like somebody like Gojo and Sukuna. As we all know, his curse technique is nameless right now, or it does have a name, but humans can't pronounce it. But what we do know is that it's somewhat light based. He can kind of give light mass by enforcing and kind of like combining, I believe, malevolent intent or murderous intent into his light, making it more physical and more tangible, so he can kind of interact with the tangible world. So his, curse technique is pretty OP. If they were to fight in 2v1, I think they would be kind of overwhelmed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, due to the fact that it's a light-based, technique / just overall just ability in nature, I believe it probably, works and probably, shoots at light speed. I don't know if Ryu and Uro can react to light speed like attacks. They are, close to special grade, but they kind of like, the overall capabilities of a special grade sorcerers, obviously. They are at least like grade 1, I believe. I think they'll just simply get overwhelmed. They do both have domain expansion, so that could be a major play that kind of like tips the scales into their favor. But, with the information that we currently have, we don't know what Ryu or Uro's, I believe, we know the names of them, but we don't really know what they can and can't do. I mean, there's just too much of not knowing enough information about these two characters' domains and expansions. So for this fight, unfortunately, I got to give it to Dabura for what we know right now. Maybe with these two kind of combining their domain expansions, they can kind of overwhelm him. But I believe due to his overwhelming force and just who he is, narratively, the narrative implications on his character, I just think he's just too powerful for these two. But let me know what you guys think about this matchup.